What, are you rolling? Yeah? Jochen and I met in very early on 1995. We had both moved to New York in the previous year, and he was at that time a member of Group Material and was also collaborating with Thomas Eggerer. Thomas and Jochen were both painters, trained classically at the Akademie der Künste in Munich. But in around 94 they stopped painting, doubting the practice and rejected the whole history of painting and the gesture of the master, making these expressive objects, and instead they picked up a practice which was largely called institutional critique, which was looking at the production of culture as a socio-economic construct, and which meant engaging in other artistic practices that included writing and research and assembling exhibition formats that did not involve man-made artworks. And I was in New York having just had my first round of exhibitions and just having released the large monograph with Taschen, which in many people's eyes put me on the map as a defined person, artist working with the camera, with photography, on a project which could be called chronicling the time, the zeitgeist, the youth of the moment. And that clear reading was at clear odds with my own understanding of my project being a much wider one into picture making in general. Like, what does it mean to depict a person? What does it mean to turn paper, industrially produced material, into an object of aura, or can it have an aura? What is the meaning of an object, a picture object? And meeting Jochen, who had rejected his kind of picture object making the year before, was a very fruitful and inspiring moment, and the two of us spent a lot of time speaking about each other's practice and the cultural moment that we were in. So in painting, Jochen then also deployed a style that left it a little bit unclear. Is he really serious about this, or is it a humorous melancholy, or is there? I don't think there was irony, but there was a tongue-in-cheekness, how he constantly undermined the seriousness of painting, whilst at the same time being a master at it. And that was what was so good after he started painting again in '96. After the end of Group Material, he was able to use his virtuoso skill in painting and at the same time making them borderline kitsch or serious. You know, some of the subject matter came from American novel covers and gift cards, and Jochen did mistrust the idea of the self as having an outer surface and an inner core, and had referred to himself sometimes as an onion, as like many layers and skins, but never a core, which I doubt that was really him, because of course there was a core, but the idea that there is this serious, solid self that is bigger than the surface, that he mistrusted. And I guess paintings, the traditional academic painting, meant large canvases of imposing quality and impact. And whilst he was very good at that during his time at the Academy, and we have two large examples here, he was much interested in a more fragile idea of the self. To go for such a small painting at the time in the mid-90s was unusual, and so one just has to think about, or I like to remind myself and others of the technical qualities, and really look like what was actually done at the time and what did this person do, what was standard and what did this person do. And very cool to see this work together after sort of 10 years, it not having been shown in Europe at this scale.